Good marketing divides. It doesn't welcome everybody. It doesn't want every single lead to turn into a true prospect and even a client. Good marketing's desire, and your desire in marketing, is to actually weed out the ones that you don't want to work with or are not a fit, or just it wouldn't be the best place for them. This is true for clients as well as for team members. Many of you know that in the hiring process, there are lovely, wonderful people, some of whom even have the skills and abilities, but your firm is not the best place for them, where they will shine and they will love what they do, and you will love having them as part of the team. And that doesn't speak ill of them as a person. There's another place for them. That same principle applies to the clients you draw into your firm. And I know from talking to accountants for many, many years that there's a mentality that we need to break in our mindset that tells us that we need to have lots of leads. We need to appeal to as many people as possible. And, even that joke that's made about, well, back in the old days, it was anyone who's willing to sign a check, or these days it would be anyone who's willing to, click the payment authorization. That's not true. That is 100% not true, and it's dangerous. It is dangerous to welcome anyone, because you literally can't do that. Nobody needs to be doing that, because there are different people for different accounting firms. Even just looking at accounting firms is true for any businesses, but looking at accounting firms, there are some people that you are best placed to serve. And there are also some people that you are not. You are not going to be their person. Maybe they're lovely. Maybe they're kind. Maybe you like them. But maybe your firm isn't the place for them. And when you know that good marketing's job is to divide and to bring in the best ones and send away the wrong ones, when you know that, it frees you up. It relieves you. You don't have to try so hard to be for everybody, because you don't want to be for everybody. You want your marketing, your website, your brand, your social media posts, your videos, your content, your philosophy, your team, your whole approach. You want all of those things to be very appealing to the certain kind of person that you've identified, and to be very unappealing to anyone else. And recognizing that that is not a bad thing. We associate it in our minds with failure, with people saying they don't like us. Whereas actually, this is more of is this the best place for this relationship to thrive? Because the work that you do with business owners and businesses and with the humans who run those is very relational. This is not transactional. They are not buying a pair of shoes and thinking well of the company who makes them. They are talking to you about things in their family, things of the heart and soul even. I mean, I know so many accountants are like, I didn't realize becoming an accountant involved therapy and counseling and psychology. It does, though, because the things of the business and the money and the way that they do business and their style, it affects you and you affect them. So you have to be able to get on with them and work with them. So your marketing has to help you with that. Good marketing is supposed to relieve the burdens, not just the marketing burdens, the business burdens that you have. Some of the business burdens you have are that you have clients that you don't like, or that are not doing what you ask them to do, or are not in the industry that you're best placed to serve, or their business is too small or too big for the kind of things that you do. Those are all fine in the sense that those things are what they are. And sometimes you can train clients. Well, you can always train clients. It's whether they accept that training. That's their choice. So there's things that you can do within your marketing to draw them in. But there are also, no matter what you do, there's going to be some people that are just not a fit. And recognizing that that's okay. And giving yourself the freedom to say, my marketing is going to help me. is going to relieve these burdens. It's going to lift this off because it's going to be only appealing to the ones that we want. And it's going to actually make it kind of hard for people who don't fit in with that. So they'll go, oh, I don't want to fill in a form. I don't want to have this thing. I don't want to submit that. I don't want to have this on call. Just give me the quote, give me the monies, and let me decide. I know for most of you, that isn't the approach you're taking. So you can just say, okay, if you're not willing to follow that process, it's no problem. There are many other places that you can go. And the same thing with the messaging on your website and in your marketing. If the messaging is for people who have families, or people who are in a certain geographical area, or in a community with certain kinds of issues, or have certain business issues or an industry or a niche, and somebody else comes and says, oh, that's not me, that's a win. As long as you are clear in your own mind about who exactly you want to work with and who you don't. And in my experience, all the hundreds of thousands of accountants that I've talked to and met with and worked through and coached and trained, and that the whole PF team has, it almost always I'm close to saying it always, which is a very dramatic thing to say. But I do believe that in marketing, it does always come down to who you serve and knowing that, because if you do not, then all your marketing will be confused and it will not divide clearly. It'll be sort of vague and sort of welcoming and sort of push people away, and it doesn't know who it is because you don't know who they are. So the more crystal clear you are in your own mind, and this takes time, by the way. This is not a matter of like, oh, let's throw together our buyer persona and now we have it sorted. This is like years of understanding your own firm, your own brand, your own style, your approach. It can change over the years, and that's okay. You have the right to do that. But all of these things come together so that eventually you get to the point where you say, this is exactly who we work with. The person has these qualities, they have these values, maybe they have this kind of business, maybe it covers a variety of businesses. Maybe there's this size, maybe it's a smaller size or a bigger size, maybe that changes. Maybe a certain number of team members, maybe things that they've dealt with in the past, maybe it has to do with the services that you do. But all of this gets to the point that your marketing causes somebody to come to you and go, oh, that is me. Those are my problems. Those are my issues. And these seem like my people. These seem like the people who could help me with that. You got to have both of them. It isn't just about the issues. Oh, do you need cash, or dealing with profit, or don't have enough time, or trying to balance with your family, or, grow your agency and scale it, or whatever. Those are the issues. Equally, you've got to have them say, these seem like, that's all marketing is getting them to do, these seem like the kind of people who can help me with those problems. Because you could identify all the problems, and then they could go, well, they're spot on, but there's just not my people. That we don't talk the same language. It's not my style. Again, nothing wrong with that. That's good. That's marketing succeeding. But if your marketing is not truly reflecting who you actually are, if they come to your website and think that you're fairly conservative, old school accountants or typical accountants, and you're not, you actually do everything digitally and everything smooth and has a consistent process, and you work with a certain kind of people. And if that's not clear, there's a mismatch. So your marketing needs to be so clear that it divides. And when it does that, you get to decide. You are 100% in charge of who you take as a client, who you don't, so that all of your clients are clients that you love. You really absolutely love, and you would like more and more like them. So you craft marketing to people like them, and then you get more of them and no one else. That's how good marketing divides, and that's how it helps you and relieves those burdens.